Okay, so we have a player that moves. Now I think we want to animate that player. So I'm make them, because they look a bit rubbish. They're not really walking, are they? They're just moving around. So let's click on the player, click edit, and then it's about the graphics. So it's the sprite we need to change. And now I'm going to click down the bottom here. We have this animation editor. Okay, so there are no animations. So when I click pick animation, there isn't one. So if I click create new, I'm going to give it a name, call it walk. Okay. Now here we go. There's the character standing still, but they need to look like different things. So I'm going to add a new frame. Now I could start drawing all of this. Again, we're not going to spend the time for that. So I'm going to go to browse, menu, Flowlab sprites, because that's what I'm using, characters, and look, here we have pictures of the person in different positions. So I'm going to click this one. That looks a bit like walking. Then let's have another one. I'm going to click this one, and let's have another one and click this one on the right. So now if we go through them, you see they look different. I'm going to click play to see what that looks like. That kind of looks like they're walking, right? Up in the top left here, we can see what they look like in actual size. That's quite reasonable. Okay, I might want them to go faster or slower, which I could change these. We won't do that just now. So my person is walking. I'm happy with that. I'm going to click OK. So we have an animation, but obviously this person should not be walking all the time if they're standing still. We want them only to walk when they move. So to do that, bear with me here, nearly finished. Remember, you can pause, go backwards, check, get everything right. I'm going to go to behaviors again. Okay, I need to open my run and jump bundle because I want to add some things. So when we press the left key, we want them to move and we want the animation to play. So if I come over to properties, so I'll just go back there. So there's properties maybe you were on triggers. Just notice how these menus kind of open up and jump to the top. So the one we want is properties, and look here, there's one called animation. So I'm going to click that. Okay, that's on top. That's a bit in the way. Let's move it out. Okay, so you'll see, if I click on it, I get options. You see we only have one animation, which is walk, so that's already chosen. And we want it to go round and round. We don't want it to stop. We want it to keep walking, so we're going to loop that animation so it keeps repeating. Okay, so now the player, that's the animation, but when should it happen? Okay, well, when the left key is pressed, we want them to move, and we want to animate. So if we click on this little blue dot where it says down, when the key is pressed down, and drag it to start the animation. So when the left key is pressed down, that should start my animation. Sorry about the noise, that's some of you guys behind. Okay, and when the right key is pressed down, we also want to start the animation. So now if either of these keys are pressed, it will start the animation. We also want the animation to stop when the person stops moving. So when we let go, when the key goes up, the left key goes up, we want to stop the animation. And when the right key goes up, we also want to stop the animation. And I hope you can see that. I can't really, if I separate it a bit further, maybe you can see. There's just this other stuff. Okay, there we go. This other stuff a bit in the way. So now you can see the down key for left is connected to start animation. And when the left key comes up, it stops. When the right key is pressed down, it starts the animation. When the right key is allowed to come up, it stops the animation. That sounds good. I'm happy with that. Let's check it. Let's move these out of the way a bit. Let's do a little test. Okay. And now you can see when I move, the animation happens. When I let go of the key, it stops. If I bring this things back down a bit by pausing, you'll be able to see the logic. It's getting a bit messy. Here we go. We can see the logic happening. Okay, so I'm going to press play, stop, play. Okay, you'll see the lines highlighting to see what's happening. So I press right, and you can see it's gone yellow up to the animation. When I let go, the stop one happens. Pressing the left key, it's gone to animation. Let go, it triggers the stop animation. I hope that makes sense. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go OK. So my animation is set, my behavior is set to make the animation play and stop again. OK. Let's check that on the main screen. Nice. That's starting to look a bit more alive, isn't it? End of this tutorial. Take your time. If you got stuck, just go back, go over, go step by step. Just make sure you understand. If you need help, put up your hand. But do try yourself first.